If you were in the military, how confident are you that your junior guys don't understand how to go into MyPay, make sure they're contributing to the TSP, and how to go into the TSP and make sure that they're investing? They even know how to invest. They know how to look up the form performance. And they also know how to make sure that their contributions are going to where they want their money to grow. That's why I'm here. Today I'm going to show you how to go into MyPay and to tsp.gov and show you how your Marines can be prepared so that they can start making more money. Sound good? Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and type in MyPay onto the Google machine. From there, we're going to go ahead and click on the first link. This is what the MyPay website looks like. You can go ahead and log in. Once you are logged into MyPay, this is what the MyPay website looks like. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, go to the bottom left, and you see right there, Thrift Savings Plan. Go ahead and click on it. Now, this is how you make sure that the contribution that you want is going to the TSP, not the investment, but to the TSP, okay, to your TSP account. And which account? Is it the Roth portion or your traditional portion? As you can see here, right, you have the traditional TSP and your Roth TSP, okay? Now, you have an option to pick how much percentage of what type of pay that you want to go to either account, right? So let me explain. If you have the blended retirement system, then the way this works is after 2 years of being in the military, the government will match you up to 5%. What I like to do is put 5% into my Roth TSP, and I take 5% from my basic pay. Now, where does the government put their 5% when they match you? They actually put it into your traditional TSP. All you have to do is go to the bottom right, click edit, and then here you can pick how much of the contribution that you want. Once you put in the percent that you want, make sure your address information is good to go. Once you're good here, you just make sure your address is complete, accurate, and you go to the bottom, you click continue. It's pretty straightforward. Now here's a question I get all the time. Spencer, how much money should I put in here? Well, it really depends. You should be saving and investing as to how much money that makes the most sense for you and your family. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial planner. So what I won't do is tell you how much you should put in. But as you can see here, this is what I put in. I put in 5% so I can get the match. And I don't do more than 5%. I can get more return on my money outside the 5%. I do 5% solely so I can get the 5% match from the government. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click out of here. We're going to go to the tsp.gov website. Okay, this is tsp.gov. Now, there's two things that we want to know. How to get into our account as well as the fund performance. Okay, so there's two things here, right? We're going to log in. I'm going to show you how the tsp.gov, your TSP account is set up, and then I'm going to show you where you can look up the fund performance so that you can make better financial decisions. Now that we are on the TSP website, all you have to do is go to the button up at the top that says Change Investments. Now, if this is your first time setting up to where you want your money to go, you just go to the left side, change your investment mix. You get started. Now this is going to set up to where do you want to change the money that's already in there, or do you want to change the money that's coming in the future? If this is your first time, I recommend you do money that's already in the plan. Now, once you're on this website, all you have to do is scroll down, and you have an option to pick which funds that you want your money to go to. Now, the L funds, the life cycle funds, the way they work is they are catered to when you are going to retire and start pulling this money out. Okay, so what I recommend is this: do some math, figure out at what point do you want to start taking this money out. Do you want to take it out at 60, 65, 70? You know, it's really up to you. The way IRAs, 401ks, TSPs, how they work is this. You can't touch the money before 59 and a half if you want to avoid a tax penalty. Once you hit 59 and a half, you can start taking this money out. So what you could do is this. Figure out when you're going to be 60 years old and what year that is. And then the life cycle fund that's closest to when you're 60, that's the fund that you could pick if you wanted to use one of these. Now, why would someone ever pick a life cycle fund? Well, the way the life cycle funds work is this. They're more volatile earlier in the life cycle of the fund, meaning that the up and down of the market is actually greater. There's higher risk but higher reward. As the life cycle fund gets closer to the year when you're probably going to be retired and you can start touching this money, the investments actually start to become more and more safe. Now, it's less and less risk for less and less reward. Now, what I'm showing you is the other funds, right? These are the individual funds, and this is where most people typically put their money, right? Now, are these funds better than other funds? Honestly, it just makes sense as to what makes sense for you. What I'm going to do is after this, I'm going to show you the different fund performance. For your essay, some of these funds actually match some of the major index funds like the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, okay? So as you can see here, what I can't tell you is where you should put your money, but what I actually do is for a while I did 50% of my C fund, 50% of my S fund, and now just because of how the C fund's been forming, I actually decided that for me it's the best that I'm going to just put all my money into the C fund. Again, not telling you where to put your money, but do the research. Now what I'm going to show you is how you can do the research so that you're more informed as to what makes the most sense for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to click out of here and go back to the beginning. Okay guys, now we're at the beginning. Go ahead and click on fund performance, and what I recommend is you go ahead and just click on rates of return. Now, I've already told you a little bit about the life cycle fund. If you're not interested in life cycle funds, then what I recommend is you just go ahead and click select all, and what you're actually going to do is deselect all that was up there. Now what you have here is just individual funds. Okay, now here's the really cool thing is why are these funds put together the way they are, right? Well, some of them actually match the benchmark funds, or really what we call the index funds, S&P 500 and Dow Jones. So as you can see here, the C fund is actually very closely related to the S&P 500. Look at the performance from the 1 year, the 3 year, the 5 year, and the 10 year. And since inception, very similar, right? Same thing for the S fund, very similar to the Dow Jones. Now, what's the best way to look at this? Well, I want you guys to remember this again. A TSP is a retirement account. If you don't want to pay any tax penalty on touching this money, then you can't touch it until you're 59 and a half. Now, a lot of your young guys are in their 20s. This is what you want to show them, is get them thinking about what is the long-term gain on this money. So this is for the long haul. So this is what we want to do, is what I like to do is I look at the since inception as well as the 10-year averages, and I let that guide me in terms of what money I'm going to invest. So as you can see here, the C fund over its livelihood has actually outperformed most of these other funds. For example, 10.83 since inception compared to 8.86, 5.02, and of course lastly the G fund, 4.66. Now if you're going to not touch this money until you're 60, right, for some of your guys they have about 40 years of just letting this money sit here. So just think about that. Now you guys know how to look up the fund performance and how to go about it. Now you know how to look up this stuff so that you can make better financial decisions. Please subscribe to my channel. Please follow me on Instagram. Share my content. Share this with people that you love. And I'm here to give free financial content because I want to make an awesome impact in the world. Love you guys. Talk to you.